You're going to download the app? You've done it all? Everybody ready to roll?
No.
No.
No, I don't trust government.
No,
Sorry, Prime Minister. Have a nice weekend.
I said before,
Gary?
information is power, and once a database exists, it can be hacked by anyone, and anyone who says it can't be just isn't being realistic.
My problem is you've got to download it from either the Google Store or the Apple Store. They, therefore, will know who's downloaded it more than anybody else. That's the only thing that nobody's actually cleared up in my mind. If it was a little less obvious, I'd like to know more about it. Anyway, the restrictions, the confusion of it all. Now, Bronwyn, do you understand what you're able to do in Sydney from this weekend on? Have you got some new things here in Queensland? I can't quite follow what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, we have got some new allowances. We're actually getting part of our rights and our civil liberties back. We're actually allowed to see 2 adults and some children can go and visit somebody else's house. So I'll actually be able to see my granddaughter, which will be very nice.
Very nice.
But I think, suddenly we're seeing momentum. We're suddenly seeing, yes, you can see more. Yes, you can do more. Yes, you can travel. And heaven forbid, you could even play golf in Victoria. It's quite amazing the changes that are taking place, because basically I think people are just fed up. And what they really want to know is what is happening to our economy. And yes, we'll survive the virus, but will we survive the economic consequences? And I think that is the big thing that people want to hear about.
Well, I think that's right. And Malcolm Roberts, what I'm hearing out of government is that we've gone through the survive thing, next is the revive thing, and then hopefully the thrive thing. Now, how that all works, I don't know. But again, in Queensland, you've got all these confusing circumstances around these restrictions that are being lifted. From 11:59 tonight, Queenslanders will be able to travel 50 kilometres, I think, as the crow flies, but it could be whatever the road you're on, from your home. And you're also able to go to your park, but you can't use the barbecue in the park or the play equipment in the park. You can only sit in the park. This whole thing's a bit all over the place.
Yeah, and Anastasia Palaszczuk has been very unclear right throughout on the restrictions, Gary. And she's also done backflips on at least 4 occasions when she came out with the shooting, came out with finding people in the park, and there was another issue as well that I can't remember the details of. So it's been very confusing for people. But the real issue here is that the people, we've done very well, and I think the people of Australia need to pat ourselves on the back. We've got the transmission rate right down now. The government has done a good job, I think, on that aspect, on looking after health and making sure our healthcare system wasn't overwhelmed. But Taiwan, with a similar population to Australia, it has 24 million people. It got the virus earlier, and it was closer to China. It is closer to China, and it had more to lose and more intense bombarding of the virus. It shut the borders very quickly with mainland China. And then what it did was it isolated the vulnerable and it isolated the people with the disease and let the rest get back to work. And so Taiwan has not only had 6 people, I think, died compared with our over 90. So it's had 1/15 of the fatalities, but it's had no blip to its economy. And that is really smart. And we've been saying to the government, we need to stop quarantining the masses and quarantining those who are potentially vulnerable or conveying the disease.